Season 27 of the F1 Racing League. We're at Monaco today. As you can see on the screens, we have mostly a full grid ready and raring to go. We are due to expect Retro, my co-commentator, joining us midway through qualifying. He is racing just like the guys are here, all his way back to the track to join us for the action. If you haven't heard me before, I am the Wufafa, otherwise known as Greg. You can find me in the Discord, and I'll be here every Sunday at 8 PM to bring you the action. So off we go. We're going to see what the track conditions are first. Bright, shiny day around Monaco, and we're going to be paying extra attention to this qualifying because it is Monaco, and Monaco more than any other track on the calendar where qualifying just is so key. That track position to start the race from is massively, massively important, more so than any other track on the calendar. So we're going to get a bit of data up first of all. Don't need tyres. Use some telemetry, a little bit of lap data, and a map to show who's who and where they are. I believe that's a Ferrari we've got coming out first of all, so let's jump on board with them. Oh no, there's a Haas. I have a bit of a rule: whoever's out first gets my eye. And just like magic, Retro has joined us for the party. I'm sure he's just following his. He's just going to follow his route into the stream, and he's going to join us for some action around here. But first of all, we have Solid Ninja Snake coming down through Mirabeau into the chicane, into the hairpin, sorry. And underneath the tunnel section. So you don't use your tyres too much on here. Grip around Monaco is hard to come by. This is a street circuit, which means it's dirty. Lots of stuff can blow into the track. And you don't want to scrub off any speed coming through here either. And you also don't want to take any wing plates off. It's a track where you need all components of your car to make it round. As you know, it comes into Rascasse. And then through the Anthony Hughes hair, and then up the DRS straight, heading into Saint-Devote. You want to brake nice and hard and get yourself heavily over this curbing. Run right up to the wall as a bit of clearance so far. Now straight line it through these S's up the hill. Braking into Massenet. And then we slowly down the hill. You'll see the drivers, maybe not so much in the game, but in real life, there's a drain cover there that the driver's trying to avoid. Now it looks like Solid Ninja Snake is going to pick up some traffic here. There's a McLaren just slightly ahead of him. I believe that's of J-Tray, who gets kindly out of the way. The stewards maybe not knowing what they're doing, the marshals, sorry, not knowing what they're doing there. Waving yellow flags at cars that are just jumping out of the way. Wonderfully over the curb there from Solid Ninja Snake. Perfect cut. And now he comes up through the swimming pool section. Oh, as he really, really, really gets up close to the wall there. And we're just going to quickly get Retro in here.
Sorry about the delay, folks. I got stuck behind a tractor coming back from my parents, so I'm just joining the lobby now.
Yeah, so Retro is going to be able to relate very heavily with the drivers tonight at Monaco, being stuck behind other cars. As we see it, Solid Ninja Snake setting a very respectable 1 minute 11.7 on his first lap out. And we're going to pick up who else is coming through. We've got AVT Pasty on an invalid lap, looking to maybe just start. We have Creamer rounding Anthony Hughes and uphill all the way to the line, and very much clears himself from Solid Ninja Snake, but then closely followed in by Gabs. And then into the 109s goes Rising Moon. Fantastic lap. Looks like the track is already ramping up. So we now pick up J-Tray in the middle sector. So Retro, I don't know if it's your mic, but I think I'm getting a little bit of echo from you, mate.
Are you? I'll see if I can turn it down.
Thank you. So we're just picking up J-Tray in the middle sector now. He's going to try and fly through to back. Doesn't use too much of the wall there. That's maybe for a little bit later on. Comes out the swimming pool section. Kindly over the curb. into Raskas. Quite tentative through there. Maybe didn't brake as hard as he wanted to, but he gets a good drive out of Anthony Hughes. And to the line, puts himself P8.
How's that on your end, buddy? Is that better?
That does sound a lot better.
I think it might have been where I chucked my headset on whilst I was kicking my shoes off. I think I must have just knocked the volume of the headset. So it wasn't a microphone problem, it was just me being a bit deaf on the old volume of the headset. And nonetheless, we are here for the Monaco Grand Prix. Just about.
And to think, he's got a hearing problem and he's younger than me. But we do have Moxie coming down the hill out of the tunnel. He's had a few bits of heavy braking there, some locker tyre into the hairpin. Into the chicane, sorry. No, hairpin. I'm getting this right. There's so many of both on this track. But Moxie very, very committed early on into Raskas. Probably the man who's really used the track limits on the final part of the sector. I will be surprised if he doesn't go pole here temporarily. Oh no, that problem in the middle sector has cost him time to rise and move. Moxie will definitely look to make another attempt at that. As Persegidi also further down the order in the pits. Right, Mushlane
just picked up Gabs in the third sector, who just set a purple sector 1 coming into Raskas. Just rounding a couple of final corners of this circuit. Is he going to improve on his time with a 1:10.1?
Oh, a little bit.
Set a purple sector 2, but a bit slippery on the exit.
Yeah. Oh, but fast nonetheless. Now, how much could he have played Rising Moon without it?
Exactly. He could have definitely gotten to maybe being realistic 109.5s maybe.
Just picking up Gulmarv in the middle sector. He's going to come through sector 2 shortly. I'm going to see how he's managing around here. Just has to round to back before we get a bit of time. Oh, is he just as clattered the wall? I think this is an in lap. I think J-Trey's also down on his ERS. I think this might be an in lap also. But he looks quite committed. He is using. He does get a purple middle sector, but as he's out the top 10, that might just beat a solid Ninja Snake for now. Very tentative through Raskas. A much better exit through Anthony Hughes. Anthony Nogues, I think it is, sorry. And does not improve. No, it does improve. Goes to P10. So I looked away at my track map.
Well, the old cheat book was coming out for this track tonight.
It is out, but it's some of the names. Well, the thing is, right, so turn 5 and turn 7 are both Mirabeau. And there's a corner in between.
We just got Persegidi, I think, just pulling off to the side after the tunnel section just to let the cars pass that may be on a hot lap. Great sportsmanship from him. We do have Rising Moon going for another lap, I believe, in the sector 1.
So all good. Hammer time for the Mercedes is purple in that first sector. Oh, maybe he hasn't quite hugged the hairpin. He hasn't quite hugged the hairpin quite as much as he wants there. So out of Mirabeau. A little bit of a rear slide there, but gets his car straightened up through the tunnel.
Doesn't do a Checo from last season where he spun it right before the tunnel.
Oh, as he does well to not invalidate there, taking a big chunk out of the Nouvelle chicane. Very committed through to that. Yeah, this is really committed now. The safety wheels have come off, and he is just absolutely flying. A little bit of a rear slide, but that's okay. He keeps on the power. And follows the line, stays nice and tight. What does he do? Oh, marginal improvement, but not quite enough to displace Gabs just yet. We're going to go on board with Persegili, the championship leader. He is 3/10 up on his time, which will put him very close to pole, but he's going to need something extra in this final sector to put himself on preliminary pole. That was a little bit slow through Raskas. Does he get a good exit? A little bit snaky in the exit. What can he do? He does go pole by 1/10.5. I think Persegili's got a little bit more in than that. As we see Super Jesse I'm going to sell
He's hit
ball
the
first,
wall.
but his car's kept going.
That's the other Alfa Romeo, I believe, that
Oh,
was
okay.
on circuit in sector 3. I think just had a bit of a collision with the wall.
I think this is Rising Moon just going in. Max Duca
We've
invalid.
got AVT Passy that I flicked on then, knocking Rising Moon off the top 3 with a respectable 109.7. Great lap from him.
So very, very small margins being found in Monaco this evening. What about
Flicked onto
Moxie?
Moxie, yeah, to say 2/10 up in sector 1, coming through his tricky hairpin.
It's a bit deep on his rear brakes there, coming round the hairpin. Comes
Great
out of
exit though into the
Portier.
tunnel.
Takes a quick ride through the Kimi Raikkonen Walk of Shame. And down towards the back. Quite relatively conservative through the Nouvelle Chicane, but not too conservative. Coming round to bat.
He's half a tenth up through sector 2.
Incredibly committed. Coming out to the impulse section. Maximizes traction. Coming out of Rasgas, super smooth, but not using maximum track. Coming towards the line. What does he do? He does go pole. Takes that extra time in the middle sector that Perseguidi could not quite pick up. But here we have
Interesting to see
Gabs.
whether Moxie would go for another one, whether he wants to showboat and break into the 108s maybe.
But we do have Gabs. He's got a McLaren starting his lap, which might help him if he can stay far enough behind. Yeah, he's got DRS and Slipstream. Will this really help him? What can he do? Oh, no, he's down in the end. I believe that was Tezik just moving up. Very, very respectful so far. Everybody leaving lots of space around Monaco.
And so we just have Max Duca take a P6 with a 109.797. So it's definitely a fine margin on the 109.7s at the minute.
Yeah, I mean, there's a great grouping for that third place in the podium, isn't there?
Yeah.
Moxie and Perseguili have been runaway winners for most way this season. But that fight for third place, I mean, Creamer was very fortunate to pick up a win last week, with the other two falling afoul of some incidents.
So the only two drivers left of this qualifying session to set a lap is Jim Wong and Armand Telecki. Both, Aston Martin and Red Bull drivers still need to set a lap. There's 5 minutes remaining. We have got Jim Wong on a lap.
Oh, it's a bit snaky coming down the hill. Gets himself straightened up, doesn't do a Rosberg. Comes into the Grand Hotel hairpin. And down through Mirabeau. As he navigates Portier, can he get good traction? Yes, he can. Very smooth on the power. Such a great sound. Listen to these cars in real life go through that tunnel. As Rising Moon looks like he's lost it coming out of Casino.
So that's unfortunate. Hopefully the Alpine behind won't get... Ooh, I think the car just got recovered just in time before the Alpine come flying around that corner.
But Jim Wong just enters the final sector. It's relatively smooth around Raskas, but maybe lacking a little bit of speed. Powers out towards the line, holds it nice and tight to the wall. Brings himself up to P15. And I see Perseguili is now back out on track. He's purple in the middle in the first sector. But he does go a little bit deep out of Mirabeau 1.
Especially deep on the exit of the hairpin as well. Can he recover to take that pole position?
We're going to check on him once he comes through to bat. I'm sorry to any Monegasque listeners if I'm butchering any of these names. Any French speakers, I do apologise. And here he comes, rounding to bat. Yeah, he's backed off.
Yeah.
Now the question is, will he choose to come in? Or will he go again? I'm going to see. And he's elected to come in for now. He does have just enough time to get out and round again. Jim Wong also coming in. Is everybody waiting for the last piece of track, last bit of time in the session to take glory in Monaco? We do have
Especially
Phoenix.
a track like Monaco, that is a position is key. So
Well, if you're Valtteri Bottas, just make sure you can get your tyres off well.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, throwing shade. But we do have Phoenix coming through the swimming pool section. Everybody doing so well to not get invalidated. Oh, he's a bit deep in Raskas. Yeah, I was just saying, just doing. Oh, and then super snaky. Oh, also get himself from WRC as he takes himself up to P14, just slightly missing out on dipping into the 110s.
And so we have got Moxie going for another lap, the current pole sitter through Sector 1.
As he is
purple Sector 1.
Now, he's the only person so far I've actually seen avoid that bump in the track. Everybody else has been ignoring it.
Key to the time, avoid the bumps.
So Moxie choosing to go early, maybe avoid some traffic and get this lap down before he gets impeded, because it is going to be very busy in these last moments in Monaco. Right, he comes. Tyres do hold up from there.
Slightly down.
As Guillemard, out of nowhere.
Ooh, that must have been a bit of a distraction for Moxie. There's a Red Bull sideways across the track. Luckily it was ghosted. We've got Moxie firing it towards the line. What is he going to do? Is he going to improve? He does, but not quite enough to catch up or overtake his teammate with a 109.222.
About Creamer, winner last time out. What can he do? He does improve up to P6. Not many great improvements happening so far, apart from Guillemard, who I'm sorry that we missed. We've got Mulshane and getting out the way of, that was one of the McLaren's, J-Tray, who's had to avoid so much going through the tunnel. As we count down to a minute left of this session, you want to be the last person out on track in Monaco. Soak up the sun, soak up the views, but shave down the lap time. This is just J-Tray on an outlap. He does have, I don't think anybody quite knows who's on an in-lap or an outlap at the moment. But it looks like Guillemard has built up a lot of VRS. Is he going again? It looks like it, yeah. Guillemard, fueled for taken pole, preliminary pole, and then geared up for a second lap. Incredible.
I think AlphaTauris on a mission tonight once again.
Now, Persegili I've just spotted, half a second up. And based on what
Creamer has just taken the place from Persegili, snatching a P3. Sorry to interrupt there, buddy, but I just saw it slide in. Creamer sliding into those DMs of the leaderboard to say, take that P3.
So we're just going to stay on board with Persegili. We've got a few cars in the final section, including Gabs, actually, who's got DRS to the line. What can he do? Yeah, takes himself up to P4, pushes Persegili even further down. We have a Haas as well. Solid Ninja Snake doesn't improve. We're going to go back on board with Persegili, who's now entering. Oh no! As he hits the wall! And round goes Persegili, the drama! So if he doesn't impede anybody here, and into the pit he goes. That's qualifying ended for Persegili there.
Moxie just tapped the wall into Sector 3, I think.
Oh, and Guillemard has just been impeded in the final sector. Has it? Yeah, he's well down. What about Moxie? Slide in, no wing, Moxie. And cream it in. I think this is most of the competitive times done now. But Max Duca brings himself up to P6. How about Phoenix? Still come round, invalid. How about Jim Wong? Brings himself up to P11. Very, very big jump at the end there. So there you have it, guys. An AlphaTauri front row. But I don't think there's going to be much. They've not really played any team games so far this season. It's going to be all elbows out in the first corner.
So he's got to remember it's not always one in the first corner, especially a track like Monaco. It will chew you up and spit you out. So fantastic showcase from both the AlphaTauri drivers. Unfortunately, Creamer just snuck in there towards the end to hopefully try to take a bit of upset towards Persegili.
Yeah, Creamer, who's very much a third wheel in this championship at this point, but he's ahead of at least one of the championship contenders. He's not quite there for the leaders yet in the championship. Persegili and Moxie have taken quite a lead, and Persegili took even more of a lead last time out, with Moxie retiring from the race. So there we have it, Gulmarv from Moxie, AlphaTauri locking out the front row, then to Creamer, and Gabs with a great showing in P4, Persegili dropping down as P5, Max Duke in his regular position about P6 or 7, AVT Pasty with a good showing in P7, Rising Moon, who's been further up in the past, P8, then Tash and Mushan round out the top 10. Jim Wong, new to the grid, P11, Simru Rally Monster, Tezik, Solid Ninja Snake, Super Jesse, Phoenix, J-Tray, and Arman Telecki round out P18.
Was Arman Telecki supposed to be serving a qualifying, or did you just not fancy setting a time?
I am not too sure. I have to consult. If any of the admins are listening, please drop it in the comments if you'd like to inform us. I'm sure the rest of the viewers would like to know. Now, Retro, what do we think? I mean, realistically, Monaco is as few stops as you can do it. There's very, very low in terms of tyre wear. You could run a set of medium tyres or a hard set of tyres pretty much the whole race. But they're going to have to negotiate safety cars, which is very, very common around Monaco. I think it's something like every
safety
8
car in Monaco, common. You having a laugh?
I think it's something like 8 in every 10 Grand Prix. Like it's a safety car in Monaco, which is well, actually, there's only one track at the moment which has actually got a higher ratio than that, and that is Jeddah, which has had a safety car in every single Grand Prix.
I am not surprised. Lance Stroll would agree to that as well.
Right, so just as we wait for the drivers to pick their setups, or to adjust what they can in their setups, to choose their tyres and their strategies, set their fuel load. We're going to be quite low fuel load in here, especially with the preempted safety cars. And you want to go as long on these tyres as possible to pick up a free pit stop if you can achieve it. However, nobody's going to want to feel as uncomfortable as Lewis Hamilton did way back when he did, I think it was about 30 laps or so on a set of soft tyres around Monaco to lead Max Verstappen home for the Monaco Grand Prix win.
Bono, my tyres have gone.
The man does not know how to tell the truth about his tyres. I'm convinced there's a code in there with Hamilton. You know, I reckon there's something in what he says about his tyres which actually would indicate to the team if they are in fact gone or not.
It must be the way he says it.
Yeah.
If he sounds quite happy when he says it, or quite sad when he says it, we know it might be Morse code.
But there we have it. There's the tyres for the Grand Prix. We have Gulmarv and Moxie. There must be some team talk there because they both decided to start on the hard tyre. All their attackers down to P6 are on the mediums. I'll tell you the rest once we get into the race.
So we have the race strategy, the one stop, the hards, roughly about 20 to 30 laps on the hards, then the mediums, the final stint, or the two stop of the hard, the medium, and the medium, say 10 to 15 laps on the hards, and then mediums for about 10 or so laps, and then again another stint on the mediums again for another 10 laps. So it is possible for a two stop, but at Monaco you want to stay out as long as possible to get those free positions.
Well, even if you are the fastest guy on track, there's no guarantee of positions in Monaco. You can get stuck in a train or stuck behind just one car until Kingdom Come. We're about to get 5 lights and ready to go. Oh, as we've had a disconnect from the session from Creamer. Hopefully he gets back in. And away we go. Sorry, we didn't get the lights there. But Gulmarv has taken a very commanding lead at the start, followed by Moxie. And then we have Persegili and Gab side by side around the first corner. Persegili jumping up to P4. Following Gabs through. Looks at the AlphaTauri, despite being on the hard tyre, have bolted. Persegili getting tapped by Max Duca coming through the casino. Got Rising Moon diving down the inside through Creamer on Tezik. as we do get...
Quite a bit of a interesting story. Oh, we've got an Alpine Phoenix missing a front wing already. Not quite sure what we had going on there, but sure we might see it in the stewards room. We'll see the nice spike of viewer count before the start of the race. A few races
we have Jim
watching.
Wong. There's a lot of people, yes, there's a lot of people just making moves on Creamer at this point. So we're going to go back to tyres. As we get a lovely shot of the bay there. As Tash disconnected from the session, unfortunately.
So just whilst we have lap 1 nearly finished, just going over driver positions, we've got Mulchin moving up 3 places from the start on lap 1. Tezik moving up 4. Arman Telecki moving up 5 places from the very back. J-Tray also moving up 2. So unfortunately our biggest loser at the minute is Creamer, but he's unfortunately disconnected. And Tash, I think, is disconnected as well, dropping 5 places.
Oh,
Solid
as I've
Ninja
just
Snake.
caught Porsagili hitting the back of Gabs there in the hairpin.
So is it Persagili or Porsagili?
Persagili. I said it multiple ways.
It sounded like you said Pors.
So we do now have Gabs. Now with such a bit of air out, has started to catch up to the back of Moxie. The medium tyres will have an operating window at the moment. Oh yeah, as Creamer drops down even further. Looks like everybody is settling in for now. Well, let's have a look at Jim Wong, the only man out on the soft tyres at the moment. Maybe going to look
gets a bit of a slip through Raskas on the exit.
We've got Tezik looking for one on Rising Moon. DRS now enabled. That will become active actually on the next lap because the detection point is in, I think it's just before the last corner. So no, everybody being quite sensible. Oh, we just caught Tezik having a bit of a slide.
There's a
Further
big
forward,
lock up from someone in front.
I think that was Mulshane. And then AVT Pasty as well. So good to see that everybody's sort of behaving themselves so far. Another position off Creamer, who did so well qualifying there. Very much status quo at the moment. Persegidi and Moxie on alternate strategies here. Could become very interesting at the end. Moxie can hold out much longer for a safety car. As Gormov continues to set fastest laps.
Just having all that clean air in front of him. We just solid Ninja Snake making a move. Unfortunately, disconnected Creamer, falling down the order.
So the reasonable battle here behind AVT Pasty for P6, as now we have J-Tray out the session. Now this is much earlier than most drivers would have wanted around here, and we're already the fabled safety car comes out now. And as expected, J-Tray, having crashed out, does leave the session. Do we know where that was? Phoenix going to drive by him?
I think it was just on the bend of Casino, on the sweeping left part of Casino. I believe that's the corner correctly. I don't have your cheat book, but we're going to go with it.
Casino is the right before they go downhill with this corner on stream.
No, it's the left before it, I believe.
That would be
flicked onto it.
That'd be Massenet.
I always get those two mixed up.
So just tracking back to see who's diving into the pit. Muslane, who I think has maybe flat spotted some of his tyres. How about Jim Wong on the softs, also going into the pits. Hard's going on for Muslane. By Jim Wong, I suspect Hard's as well. This early on in the race. Yep, off he goes. We have someone else coming into the pits as well with Super Jesse. Hard tyres prepared for him as well.
If you pit it onto the hards now, do you reckon you could make it till the end?
Oh, easily. Easily. Especially the standard of these guys. I know we've seen a few flat spots so far, but once the safety car restarts, you're just waiting for the other pits or any other safety cars. You just ride the positions up to the end. And Super Jesse does right to come in there for a brand new wing. So now we just wait for all the cars to do another parade around the Monaco streets, where most of the F1 drivers reside. I'm sure it's got nothing to do with the taxing rates of the area.
No, he's get political.
That's economical, my friend.
Well, it's all the same, isn't it?
So now we do catch up with the movers and losers so far in this race. Woolmarv and Moxie retaining their positions out front. We've got Gabs, Max Duca, AVT Pasty, Rising Moon all gaining one place. I believe that's unfortunately from Creamer's woes. Then we have Tezik being one of the biggest winners in P8, 5 positions. Armin Teki, who started at the back, up to P10, 8 positions gained. And then Paul Lee disconnected Creamer and Tash, losing positions 9 and 4 respectively. Then we have Mulslane, Jim Wong, Super Jesse and Phoenix, who've all either had damage or pitted underneath this safety car. And we go back to...
So hopefully, if we're lucky, the safety car should be in this lap once... oh, sorry, Phoenix is still quite far behind. I didn't realise how far behind he was. I was watching Super Jesse thinking Super Jesse was the back marker, but no, it's Phoenix still quite far behind. So it might be in this lap. Fingers crossed, get back underway with racing.
Yeah, there's not even that many places in Monaco that you can really pick up a great amount of speed to chase down the pack. At best, maybe you can cut the Nouvelle chicane.
Yeah, but then again, it's just you're going to get penalised heavy for doing it.
Well, he's not got much of an incentive to catch the pack super quick. You know, he's got all this time to warm his tyres up.
Oh, Creamer's returned.
Now, if I was Creamer, I'd pit now. After rejoining and seeing the woes that he's undertaken, I'd pit. So let's see.
Will he get time to pit though? I don't think he'll get time to pit.
He's still currently showing this is not in his car.
He's just gone past the pit entrance.
Yeah, he's still not in his car just yet. He's rejoined, but I don't think he's taken control of his car. Got Tash also behind him. He's also still not in his car. So we're going to hope that Creamer can get in his car as soon as possible. But now, as we just catch Phoenix joining up to the back of the train. Now Retro, you have 2 Alpha Tauris leading this race, both on the same tyre. When do you pit those cars? Because there's going to be an optimal lap, surely.
I don't know, maybe we should see if we can get hold of Christian Horner and see what he does when he's got Max and Checo in front on the same tyre.
I don't think that's a representative idea because there's a preference there.
Ooh.
Well,
I think you are right, dude. I think it might just be whether the undercut or the overcut is more of a stronger option on this track.
As we
so
do
there
get
we have it, safety car in this lap.
As Gourmand will do his absolute best to bunch the cars up going through this section, but he won't go too slow because he's going to keep his tyres nice and warm.
It looks like Creamer is back in his car.
That's great news. Now we can still undercut a lot of people if he chooses to pit here. Keep an eye on that, please, Retro. As Gourmand bolts. And he gets away nice and clean, but we do have a few cars looking at moves in the background. We have Tezik, looking for one on the outside, almost gets his wing taken off.
You've got Mulchin making a move on a disconnected Tash. Jim Wong also capitalising on a disconnected Tash.
So these are the drivers that have pitted for the fresh hards to go to the end of the race.
There's a big lock up from one of the Haas drivers up front coming
That's
through the
solid
hairpin.
Ninja Snake. And that's Super Jesse, getting Tash. And we have Phoenix, maybe not finding his confidence back just yet. Lagging a bit far behind even after the restart. Oh, as Gabs gets a bit of tyre spin coming out of the Nouvelle chicane, which then puts him at risk of Persegili. We will not have DRS just yet.
Oh, Gab's getting a bit of a tap from the wall there. It's not what he wants. It looks like his wing's still slightly intact. Yeah, he's got both his end plates on.
And Persegili taking a slightly tyre inside to maybe take a look whether he's drawing alongside Gabs. Further back, we've got Tezik super close to his teammate, Rising Moon. And nothing doing just yet. Rising Moon, whilst he's getting pressure from behind, is looking to make pressure in front on AVT Pasi, who locks up going into Mirabeau. And then locks up again in the hairpin, which then allows Tezik to run up the back of Rising Moon, almost looking for a move on the inside. We're just catching Max Duca building up a little bit of a gap to those behind. AVT Pasi just dropping off there. It's going to put him at risk when DRS gets activated, which will be at the end of the start of the next lap, but will not feel the effect of it until the following lap. Personally, I think they should put DRS in the tunnel.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. Am I correct in thinking it used to be in the tunnel? Has it never been in the tunnel?
I'm not too sure.
I've always had a vision it used to be in the tunnel.
Oh, is it
Armin Telecki coming into the pits?
This another set of mediums, and then being held and then being let go. How strange. And he's retired. I wonder what that was regarding. As we have retirement in the pits, that allows the rest of the race to carry on. AVT Pasi, probably the man at the biggest risk at the moment. But further up, was that Persegili slightly disconnected? Or did he have a bit of a wall collision and ghosted? Which then puts him right under attack from Max Duca, who is just slightly dropping back with straight line speed. Nothing doing just yet. Persegili not quite looking as comfortable as he has in previous races. As we have Simi Rally Monster facing the wrong way. Oh my goodness. I'm not sure that was the best time to spin your car across the Nouvelle chicane. But he drops down to 15th but looks relatively unscathed. We go back to AVT Pasi, who's now got Rising Moon with DRS. But like in real life, the Red Bull is so fast even without DRS. But he's going to want to do something relatively quickly. Max Duca is his main help here, but he can catch up to him.
They do have Creamer all over the back of Solid Ninja Snake, with Mulchin all over his gearbox coming into the hairpin section. Oh, big lock up from Solid Ninja Snake there, round into the hairpin. Oh, it goes deep, opens the door for Creamer, doesn't quite slip inside there.
I think he just taps his rear wheel there. Creamer. Oh, I was about to say Creamer could line this up with a good bit of traction, but he doesn't. He gets a little bit snaky. But then does catch up with Solid Ninja Snake quite well. Yeah, he's doing a great job to bring himself back into this race. But he will be absolutely fuming that he's having to contend over these positions.
Especially on a track like Monaco, but just to flick to our race leader, who has already pulled out a second and a half nearly from his teammate Moxie.
Gourmand making himself look like a bit of a Monaco specialist. They do exist.
Oh, we've got Persegili all over the back of the gearbox of Gabs. Oh, I thought he was going to send one just before the casino. Oh, Gabs hitting the hitting the wall.
As Persegili goes through.
Does Max Super capitalise on this? No, he doesn't.
Gabs is missing an end plate.
Oh, I think Max Duca taps him nearly there.
Oh no, I think he did. Now we're going to stay on board with Max Duca because these might be critical corners here. He may decide that maybe the hard tyre now might be a good choice. I mean, he's the cost of a wing change. Oh, as Gabs. So Gabs gets a time penalty. Oh, and then I think Gabs must have taken that position illegally. Max Duca goes through. What does Max Duca do now? Does he go in and repair that? Oh no. Could have sworn he had a broken wing.
No,
as Gabs goes.
Gabs that hit the wall.
Ah, my apologies. Yeah, Gabs into the pits. Cuts his losses. Gets a wing change. Onto the hard tyre.
Tezik in the pits as well. Getting a front wing.
And he's going to come out.
You should have put a wing on it, lads.
As we move up through the field, gaps are starting to emerge. Moxie has closed the back gap down to Gulmarv as Persegili escapes the battle he's in off the podium, brings himself up into the last of the podium spots and can now go chasing after the positions he's more familiar with. Norstein finds himself a bit of a sandwich fighting for the last of the positions of the top 10.
Especially in an Aston Martin sandwich as well.
Look on board with Creamer. He's really got the bit between his teeth now.
It's very, very fine for track limits on this track, surely. Whoa, solid Ninja Snake hitting the wall into Raskas. Creamer all over the back of the gearbox, but he gets a good exit from Creamer just to pull away, but he does have DRS. Is he going to get moved done into turn 1? No, he doesn't. He is all over the back of that Haas. Mulchan on the back of this as well.
So we've got about 5-car train there, all vying for P7. Got Super Jesse joining this as well. He'll be there in no time with the speed and time that this pack is losing behind Sonic Ninja Snake. The Creamer didn't quite get the turn he wanted there. Might cost him through the second part of Mirabeau. Choose a tighter line, stronger exit, but he hasn't quite carried the speed down to Nouvelle. Oh yeah, as you said, Retro, super fine on some of these chicanes with the track limits.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see whether some of them should be given or not be given, if you understand what I mean. As you say, some of the lines that drivers are taking is very, very interesting to not get penalised for it. But we do have, once again, Mulchan all over the back of Creamer, who both has DRS down the start straight.
As Rising Moon goes in for a wing change, it's going to throw him back into the pack. Oh, as Mulchan looks to pull up alongside Creamer there. The track doesn't quite allow it in the layout. But Creamer, having dropped back off Solid Ninja Snake, going to make him quite susceptible. But is Aston Martin teammate Jim Wong offering a vital distraction to Mouchland, stopping him from going at Creamer. Creamer, with a bit of free air on his nose, has pulled back up behind Solid Ninja Snake, is back in DRS detection. Mouchland has lassoed the rear wing of Creamer, and he's going to be super close coming to Nouvelle now. But he's respectful for the moment. He just wants to see those hard tyres go far.
No, he's not getting the drive out of the chicane that he wanted, but he's all over the back of that Aston Martin. But we did just have Gabs set the fastest lap on the hards with a 1:11.9, as he's then just picked up another 3-second penalty.
I wonder if that's related. As Creamer elects to go into the pits now, his medium tyres are done. You do drop quite far back in Monaco. This pack has been super, super close. As Persegili is now half the time to Moxie. As he takes a slide around the hairpin. We've just picked that up. Persegili trying to take these mediums further than I think anybody else has so far. So yeah, only him and Max Duke are still committing to these medium tyres. I think we might see Persegili come out, head into the pits this lap. He can look to his teammate to see how the other tyres are performing. Yeah, it's really looking like he's struggling down on deployment. Yeah, as he does head into the pits. As Max Duca does assume P3. We're going to stay on board with Persegili because I suspect that he is going to come out in not too much of a great spot here.
He might just come out just behind Sim Rally Monster if he's lucky.
Yeah, he does just get that position, but that's two places he's going to have to take relatively quickly. And Phoenix and Sim Rally Monster aren't going to move for a little while. They're going to go quite deep into the Grand Prix on those hards. Especially Phoenix, who's probably going to look to go to the end.
And so, have an unfortunate start from Phoenix to make his way into P9. It's a great commitment from him so far. Drawing the places back from being from near last to P9. Great effort from him. You've got Rising Moon making a move on Tezik. Not quite sure what's going on there. Through the hairpin. Drivers side by side, but Rising Moon gets the exit. Solid Ninja Snake, another driver to get a 3-second penalty this evening.
As we've just missed, Mushan just breezing by Solid Ninja Snake. Solid Ninja Snake dropping 2 positions there. I wonder what's going on. Solid Ninja Snake just really looking like he's struggling with the car. These mediums are gone. But he persists. I think he's going to start getting picked off now. Super Jesse with DRS following him through the pit straight.
We've got Sim Rally Monster into turn 1 on the Alpine. Doesn't quite get a move done. Oh my days. He gets all over the gearbox of the Alpine.
Persegili very close here, looking to pick up the pieces. Oh no!
Oh no!
Persegili
Has that damaged Persegili? It has. He's missing a wing.
Now Persegili crucially can get that repaired under safety car, but
it's going to hurt him.
That's going to hurt him massively because now his championship contender, having overtaken Gulmov, I'm not quite sure where, is going to dive into the pits and come out basically where he is already. Yeah, mediums can go to the end from here. I'm absolutely sure of it. Then they're going to have to. Mulchlane looks like he's going to stay out on these worn hard tyres. No, he comes in as well. Looks like Moxie is going to assume lead of the race.
That might have been why. Gulmov had a wing replacement. That might have been why Moxie went in front.
Sorry guys, we didn't quite catch exactly when that happened, but that's great coordination from the team. And Gulmov paying the price, dropping down to P6, the man that's been leading this race for so long. As now Persegili puts himself along with Creamer. And Gab's jumping onto softs.
Will they go that far?
Ask Hamilton. I don't think the damage model in this game will allow that though.
No, I don't think so. Not for a 50% race anyway.
So now, once again, we go to the winners and losers. Phoenix jumping up 11 positions. What a drive. The man who was dead last after the lap 1 or 2 And then last again, after incidents after the safety car, finds himself in P5. And we have Jim Wong, who came from the back half of the grid up into P2. And then we've got Creamer, Gabs, Persegili and Tash all having big problems in this race, all dropping 9 positions and Tash 6.
So it's just a shame that Tash wasn't able to rejoin and collect his car to put on a show for us in that Ferrari. There's Oliver Behrman when you need him.
And then we have Mushlan, who's actually 2 stops to good.
Now, speaking of pitting, Gabs has pitted again on another set of softs.
That must... What is going on there? Is he having some sort of...
Stay out. Box. Stay out.
Prime Ferrari strategy on the go?
Overtaken by his Ferrari teammate.
Who he's not going to overtake. Oh, and he's ghosted too. Oh. It just gets from bad to worse for Ferrari. Charles Leclerc's look really rubbing off around here.
Yeah, especially his home turf as well. So hopefully we shouldn't be up in the safety car for too much longer. Most of the drivers are nearly caught up with the pack, bar the 2 Ferraris on their interesting pit strategies.
I would not be surprised if Gabs comes in again. I think Gabs is maybe trying to work around some sort of glitch he's experiencing. Because surely they can't... Oh, as it is coming in this lap, I'm surprised that's close enough. There's Moxie, an experienced race starter now, assumes lead of the race, and he's going to get us going here. Mediums for 19 laps. It's a relative task, but one I'm sure Moxie's well up to. As he doesn't put his foot down straight away, but he does now. It's further back. A few drivers pull out looking for a move. As we have,
we've got Phoenix all over a slip. Gormov has overtaken Phoenix already. Rising Moon capitalising on that slip up from Phoenix there. Phoenix dropping 2 places on the restart already.
Oh, as Max Duca overtakes Jim Wong round the outside. Further back, Gormov running into the back of Jim Wong, but does continue to try and make the position on AVT passes. Now do the hard work round the outside. He's still kept the space. Great racing from these two. Can they continue it on? Yes, they can. And then AVT Pasty does just give up to Gulmov in the end. Wanted to make sure he had his traction.
It's great racing from both the lads there. Is AVT Pasty going to send one into the chicane? No, he's not. I think he's better of it.
Round the outside isn't always the wisest move into that chicane. Very hard to run it round the outside. As Moxie has found himself an absolutely incredible lead after not even 1 lap. As Simi running Monster has the time.
Going for a fantastic move on the inside of Jim Wong into Raskas.
A man on a mission. His next stop is Max Duca. And trying to find flying formation once again for the Alpha Tauris as Mushlan overtakes his teammate down the pit straight.
AVT Passy is going to go for a move on Jim Wong. Jim Wong's got the outside. Now to the inside round Casino. Oh, Pasty, great move there.
But then we've got Rising Moon coming for him again. He's going to take a deep dive. Great move. Jim Wong unfortunately getting eaten up here. As Tezik thinks of a move down the inside. Oh, he cuts the hairpin. Cocks a wheel as he heads over. And Mooslane sees this. Sees the loss of pace. And comes flying up the back of Tezik. Conservative on the brakes. But Tezik has to come off the power a little bit. Following Jim Wong through Novell. And Jim Wong really not firing up these hards very quickly. I reckon he's going to lose another position on this straight. If Tezik can just line it up well.
The DRS notification there has been enabled, but they won't get it till next lap.
As Jim Wong goes super defensive down the pit straight. As Gabs picks up another penalty. Oh, as Tezik goes for another move into Casino. It's a lot further ahead this time and makes that move stick.
On the downhill section. He's practically, yeah, he's overtaken Jim Wong. Great move from him as well. Jim Wong tumbling down the leaderboard there.
As Mushan almost thinks about a move on Tezik as well. A little bit further back, we've got an enormous train here on the back of Mushan and Tezik. Oh, and that was that a move? Yeah, we got Ninja Snake looking for a move into Novell, just locks a brake and trying to pull out of it.
Mulchan nearly go for a move into the start of Sector 3, but thinks better of it. Is he going to try go for one into Raskas? He's got a good drive out, just slams on the brake there. Is he going to try go for a switchback? No, he's not.
But he's going to have DRS now on the aging hard tyres of Tezik. Does pull away from Jim Wong there, who's struggling. Oh, as Tezik hits the wall, loses pace. Can Mushan capitalise on this as he comes into Casino?
Going to interrupt you there. Solid Ninja Snake also hit the wall. Super Jesse and Phoenix all getting into the mix of the exit of Turn 1. Just behind that little great battle that you just witnessed. A little bit of driver
Mushan has
there.
dived on Tezik. Mushan has taken that position. Locks a brake coming into the hairpin and gets away. Cream a little bit further back, eyeing up Phoenix. 8 versus 22 laps of the hard tyre. Creamer looks like he's going to drive up to him pretty easily. And gets blocked off through the tunnel. There's a lot of dirty offline in there. And as I suspected, Persegili really hampered by Creamer here. Two guys of similar pace. Fighting over the same position, doesn't matter where it is in the order, it's going to be tricky. As Gulmarv has caught right up to Max Duker on that lap. What was our second and a half, now 8/10.
We've got Gabs in the pit once again for another set of softs. Being held.
And Creamer dropping down. Wonder what's happened there.
No, he's retired from session.
Maybe he ran out of tyres. Tezik really putting himself in the firing line. He's backing these drivers up away from Mushlane. Gets a good drive though into the tunnel. But so does everybody else. Not seen too much in the way of bold moves into Novell, but that looked like a cut from Tezik there.
We've got Persegili making a move onto Phoenix. I just missed that. Phoenix back.
Yeah, I think he just got bounded over the chicane there. Phoenix every right to take that back.
But somewhere in the mix, we've got Persegili that's made a move on Creamer.
Yeah, I think Creamer's hit a wall somewhere. Yeah, as he heads into the pits.
Dive into the pits. We've got Tezik and Jim Wong all going at it. Solid Ninja Snake on the inside. Nearly going too wide on this narrow track.
Oh, as I think Jim Wong just taps the back of Tezik there. And then Tezik getting a bit of a slip. Coming into Mirabeau. Not too much negotiation around the hairpin. And Tezik just needs to keep acing these exits. Jim Wong doing very well.
Make a move on the inside. Oof.
Yeah, Jim Wong gets alongside. Backs out before the entry to the chicane. Locks a brake.
Very tricky to make a move in the tunnel. Persegili 3-second penalty. Phoenix with a 3-second penalty. That's going to hinder Persegili quite a lot if he wants to make a charge at this top 10.
Oh, as Tezik cuts the swimming pool chicane and allows Jim Wong through, and now Solid Ninja Snake, which is going to allow Super Jesse to get a sniff as well. Oh, and Persegili's out! Persegili's out!
No
I
sign
just
of a
saw...
safety car yet.
How bizarre. I think technically he was in the pit lane. But then he got reset outside the pit lane. I'm just going to keep an eye on Creamer here, make sure that car has disappeared. It has done. How in the world have we got away with that safety car there? Or have we used the full allocation? I think that's what it is. If that's the case, there should be no more safety cars this race.
Well, no, because it's 5 safety cars, isn't it?
Depends on the setting, I think.
Ah.
Well, Gulmarv. The fight for second place is heating up. Super Jesse on Tezik, though, coming into Novell. Gets it done. Go back to Gulmarv with DRS. Closing, closing, closing. Nothing doing just yet. We've got ABT Passy closing up on this. About Solid Ninja Snake on Jim Wong. Both drivers not getting the best exit there. A little bit loose on the rear, but Solid Ninja Snake, despite that, with DRS, looks to the outside of Jim Wong, with Jim Wong putting his car in all the right places.
So
we have
Tezik dive into the pits for a set of softs.
They should make it the 11 laps. Now, the big battle on track at the moment is Gulmarv. Looking for
the fastest lap with a 1:11.1 on the mediums.
Max Duku doing very, very well through the middle section. Gulmarv sliding across the swimming pool chicane as he gets very close to the Raskas wall. But it does look like Max Duke is doing a fair bit better in top speed. Gulmarv is really giving it everything, rear sliding through Sandevot.
We got Solid Ninja Snake once again. Oh, there's a bit of a slip through Raskas all over the back of Jim Wong. This constant lap battle down the DRS straight. Not going to get a move quite done. Super Jesse homing in on this as well.
Solid Ninja Snake really needs to concentrate on his exit. That's the only way he's going to get up alongside Jim Wong. Jim Wong, whose tyres they can maybe start to just hurt just a little bit. The second oldest tyres on track. Phoenix further back on 27 laps. As Solid Ninja Snake does get tapped by Super Jesse there. So everybody's settling in with only 10 laps left. And a chance there won't be any more safety cars.
Oh, I just missed that. Tezik locked up. I'm not quite sure if there went a tap from Kramer, but Tezik locked up, went straight into the wall. Seems to be still moving, which is great to see.
He seems to have all of his parts. And on goes Kramer. He's got Tash ahead, who will get through pretty easily. And then Phoenix on very aged tyres. So there is still a P10 on for Kramer here.
Oh, Tezik picks up a 3-second penalty.
So Solid Ninja Snake has got a better exit here. He's closing, closing, closing. But the straight is just too short. So Gulmarv does persist to keep that gap underneath 1 second. As Tezik now retires in the pits. Yeah, Jim Wong really, really struggling now. His back stepped out, going to braking into the hairpin.
No, Solid Ninja Snake's going to start licking his lips at this.
Yeah, she's throwing him a lot of shapes. Jim Wong is doing everything right. Very intelligent racing from Jim Wong.
Oh, big slip from Solid Ninja Snake there. just entering into Raskas, but just to mention that Gulmov has dropped out of a second from Max Duca.
Maybe just putting the recharge on.
Oh, not quite sure what happened there, but Max Duca locked up and went sideways into the hairpin, which now allows Gulmov back into the 1 second again. Is that commentator's curse? Are the boys listening? Did they hear me say that?
We do have a few people listening. Thank you for everyone that's tuned into the stream so far. We are closing in on the last few laps of Monaco. We still have 13 drivers out of 18 that have run the gauntlet and survived.
And so just to mention, AVT Pasty also within DRS of this fight for the last podium places.
So we don't know how many warnings they're on. At any moment now, somebody, as we just mentioned, Creamer has taken that position off Tash. He's still en route for a P10 if he can hold it together. Moxie comfortably out in front, but only by 4.3 seconds. Gulmov dropping back once again on Max Duca.
Just flicked onto Solid Ninja Snake, who picked up another penalty, getting out of shape from hitting the wall, coming round into Sector 3.
As that gives Jim Wong some breathing room. Almost taking out the pit boards there is Jim Wong. AVT Pasty now making this battle more between him and Gulmov, and Gulmov has made it between him and Max Duca. But Super Jesse down the inside of Solid Ninja Snake into Casino. Almost looked like Solid Ninja Snake just gave him that one. Maybe he wants him to bring him Jim Wong.
Yeah, so his last couple of laps is definitely going to get spicy on the old tactics of who's going to make a move and who's going to stick it out for DRS. So
I can't help but notice that AVT Pasty is looking a lot more confident than Gulmov. Coming on to pit straight, DRS is open. Just lacking a bit of top speed. But then gets a great exit. He's still right on the back of Gulmov. Looks to move to the inside. Gulmov takes a wide line into Casino, but then defends it off well. Will there be a move made into Mirabeau? Oh, as he runs into the back of him.
Gulmov defending very well at the moment.
Just going to get very, very spicy on the last lap, where desperation starts to set in. Super Jesse
for a place on the top 3 comes into conversation as well.
And Super Jesse, as expected, has closed in on Jim Wong. Super Jesse goes a little bit deep though. Keeps it clean, but it's deep. Creamer on
AVT
Phoenix.
Pasty. Oh, hitting again the back of Gulmov. Sorry to interrupt there, buddy. And so coming through Raskas, AVT Pasty all over the back of Gulmov.
He just looks like he's looked after those tyres so much better, and he's right on the back of him, right on his gearbox. Will DRS be enough? No, he just follows him through. Basically pushing him down.
Yeah, pushing the AlphaTauri round.
Now surely there's a move into Mirabeau here.
Ooh, contact once again.
Now, oh, and again! Elbows are really out now. I just noticed the reason Gulmov is struggling, he is missing his right front end plate.
Ah, that says it all then.
But I tell you what, if AVT Pasty keeps knocking him, he's going to be missing a bit as well.
Yeah, if he keeps on knocking, I'm sure we might see it in the stewards room for any knock-knock jokes from Red Bull to AlphaTauri. Whether Gulmov can hold up AVT Pasty just enough for Rising Moon to slip on the back of this. He's going to make his mind up for a tackle defend.
There's 2 attempts just in this sector. Oh, as he looks to move around the outside, there's AVT Pasty. Oh, what a move! Oh no! Oh my goodness, they're side by side! Made it through 2 corners side by side in the final sector. I've never seen that in my years of watching racing. But Gulmov is still ahead somehow.
AVT taps him once again into turn 1.
But now Rising Moon is right there. all the consideration given on the final two corners wasn't considering Rising Moon. He's so much in this now. AVT Pasty looks to the outside, gets tapped. Will Rising Moon consider a dive? Only into the back of AVT Pasty and then looks to end one round the outside. Can't make it.
Essentially looked like from my screen there, Gormov yanked the handbrake in that hairpin there to get the car turned in. He's struggling that much.
So AVT Pasty them to regroup. Just dropped Rising Moon once again.
OT passing gets a bit of a slip, but would have helped him massively if he'd got the traction out. You go for another one into Rasgas.
Is he trying the same move again? No, he gets run out of road. I don't think he warranted that space. It was very optimistic. He did not have this. He was not as much alongside as he was in the previous lap. But now they are even on damage. But that just puts Rising Moon in the driving seat for taking these positions. Any mistake now, it's going to be very hard for these two to recover against Rising Moon. Rising Moon can see the podium in front of him. Rising Moon sees the space on the side. It's quickly closed up by AVT Pasty. Now they're both using very expensive experimental wide lines there through the hairpin. But Super Jesse on Jin Wong, super close. Surely this is a move into Mirabeau. Only 3 laps left. But no, Jin Wong just getting a better drive through there. Top 2 looking very comfortable at this point in the race.
AVT Pasty has a tap on the outside of the wall in sector 3. Still keeps the last remaining end plate on his front wing to close the gap to Gulmov quite considerably.
All at the cost of AVT thinking that lightning could strike twice, and along comes Mulchen. Only down to 1.2 now, but I'm absolutely certain he'll be in DRS by the end of this lap. His light is blinking. But the fight for the last podium position is absolutely scorching hot. Oh no! There's AVT Pasty!
Spun round.
Just moving across to take the braking, and AVT Pasty, who look on for the podium, now hands that position with Rising Moon to Mulsanne, who now, without damage and with relatively aged medium tyres, can set after Gulmov.
Yeah, Mulchen will be licking his lips to this and saying thank you very much after that. He's in a prime position to take that last remaining podium place.
But yeah, so quickly into DRS detection now for Mulsanne. Now, the question is, what does AVT Pasty do? Does he think he can nurse this around Monaco? He does have 17 seconds of Jin Wong. He could potentially pit, but that is... Oh, it's very tight.
Yeah, Mulchen under DRS. Is he going to get a move done on Gormov down the straight into turn 1? I don't think he's got quite the exit he would have wanted.
As AVT Pasty does elect to pit.
Closing that gap.
It does look like Rising Moon has got out of that relatively unscathed. Mulsanne super close. Both avoiding the bump. Mulsanne, Mr. Smooth as I call him, has just been easing this race in. Just let the race come to him. Let others fight ahead. And now, with after no real prospect, about 10 laps earlier, finds himself one position from the podium as he switches to the inside. Takes a look but doesn't get it done. And Creamer did a fantastic job, brings himself up behind his teammate Jim Wong in P7. Now what will the Astons do here? Just going to see if there's a swap of positions here. It would be risky. Jin Wong does look like he's defending that. Don't blame him. He's worked very hard for that position. Mulsanne opens his DRS. Looks to close nicely. Oh, four-wheel drift around Sandevot. And that really hampers his progress on his final lap.
Oh, I'm not quite sure what happened to Mulchman, but he dropped out of a second from
Yeah,
Gulmov on the
he had a
start.
four-wheel drift going around Sandevot.
Ah, I thought you were still watching Jim Wong. That's my apologies.
But now Creamer super close in the back of Jim Wong. I think Creamer's going to have to make a move here, otherwise he's going to get really, really slowed down. We've got Super Jesse coming up behind. Yeah, Jim Wong definitely slowing his teammate down now. We go back to Marv.
So just to give him the credit due, Moxie does cross the line in P1.
Max
Duka P2. Gulmov coming into Raskas. Can he hold out this final corner to the line? A fantastic defensive display. I think he's going to get it done to round out the podium place.
Sorry, the Astons are side by side through the chicane. Jim Creamer and Jim Wong fighting it out. Jim Wong squeezing Creamer out. This is going to go right down to the final corner. There's no love lost between the Aston Martin teammates. One thinks they're Fernando Alonso and one thinks their dad owns the team. And out comes Creamer. He gets the long side.
Oh, he's like he pulled out to block his teammate there. He says, no, thank you very much. That's my position.
And so Ninja Snake rounds out the top 10.
Is he going to stay there though after penalties?
I think so. Phoenix behind has also got penalties.
Yeah. Then both the Ferraris are disconnected.
Now, Phoenix did just get caught there, swerving and crashing before the line. Now the game has given driver of the day to Creamer, who's, I think, it's for me, the driver of the day is between the two Astons, I think. Yeah, one had to come back from a disconnection, and Jim Wong put on an absolute defensive masterclass. So I'll submit those two. Would you pick between those two for me?
So just wait for the cut screen to finish, but say just to mention that Jim Wong started in P11, finished P6. Creamer started P3, finished in P7. A great display from the Aston Martin team there. I say Gulmov, despite losing an end plate, put a fantastic defensive display on, despite the fact of ABT Pasty was constantly knocking on that gearbox, tapping him, pushing him round the track. I say it's got to lean towards the Aston Martins. Yeah,
I don't think I could put. I'd submit both just because they both did very different races, found themselves competing for good positions. So I'm not gonna choose between them. I'll let you guys do that in the comments and in the chat. Aston Martin team, you get my vote for team of the day. I'll just get the rest of the positions. So it's Moxie, who takes the commanding lead in the championship from Persegili. Max Duka finding himself well on the podium, followed by Gulmov, Mudslane, Rising Moon, Jim Wong, and Creamer drivers of the day. Super Jesse P8, AVT passing P9. Solid Ninja Snake recovering well to P10. Last of the points. Phoenix, I think, did just manage to cross the line there somehow in P11. Tash, who had disconnected for the race, and Gabs, Tezik, Persegili, Simirani Monster, Armor Tezik, and J-Trait. Down from Tezik are our non-finishers for this evening. Well, for Monaco, that was quite eventful. Usually it's a parade to the end. So, yeah, thank you very much for joining us, everyone. We'll see you all next week. Hope you enjoy now that F1 is back on the TV as well. So we'll try and incorporate some of that lovely drama in the commentary, but try not to spoil anything either. Thank you for joining us, everybody. I hope you enjoy watching this back. For those who are just watching the stream back on replay, and yeah, we'll see you all next week. Bye.
Take care, guys. See you next week.